Hey guys, I thought I would get on here and do our third reading of the one and only Ivan. When we read last time, Mac had out the claw stick, and that's how he was trying to train Ruby, and Ivan was not happy about this. Neither was George, who cleans at night, and his daughter Julia. When we stopped reading, Julia had given Ivan water paint, and it made Ivan think about how he used to paint when he was in the jungle. Okay, a bad dream. I lie awake, peeling dried red paint off my fingertips. Bob, who accidentally walked on one of my paintings, is licking his red paws. Every so often, I glance over at the empty ring, the claw stick glance in the moonlight. Stop! No! Ruby's frantic cries startle me. Ruby, I call. You're having a bad dream. You're okay. You're safe. Where's Stella? She asks, gulping for air. Before I can answer, she says, Never mind. I remember now. Go back to sleep, Ruby, I say. You've had a hard day. I can't go back to sleep, she says. I'm afraid I'll have the same dream. There is a sharp stick, and it hurt. I look at Bob, and he looks back at me. Oh, Ruby says. Oh, Mac. She puts her trunk between the bars. Do you think Mac is mad because I hurt him today? Probably, I finally say. He ran away after that, Ruby says. Bob gives out a laugh. Crawled away is more like it. We're quiet for a while. Branches claw at the roof. Ruby breaks the silence. Ivan? I smell something funny. He can't help it, Bob says. I believe she's referring to the finger paints Julia gave me, I say. What are finger paints? Ruby asks. You make pictures with them, I explain. Could you make a picture of me? Maybe someday. I remember Julia's picture, the one that will be worth $1 million. I hold it up. Look, it's you. Julia made it. It's hard to see, Ruby says. There's not much moonlight. Why do I have 2 trunks? I examine the picture. Those are feet. Why do I have 2 feet? That's called artistic license, Bob says. Ruby sighs. Could you tell me another story? She asks. I don't think I can ever go back to sleep. I told you all I remember. Then tell me a new story. Make something up. I try to think, but my thoughts keep returning to Mac and his claw stick. Anything yet? Ruby asks. I'm working on it. Ivan? Bob says you're going to save me. I search for true words. I'm working on that. Ivan? Ruby says in a voice so low I can barely hear her. I have another question. I can tell from the sound of her voice that this will be a question I don't want to answer. Do you think, she asks, that I'll die in this domain someday like Aunt Stella? Once again, I consider lying, but when I look at Ruby, the half-formed words die in my throat. Not if I can help it, I say instead. What do you think he's thinking? How would he be able to help it? How would he be able to save her? Let's keep reading. I feel something tighten in my chest, something dark. And it's not a domain, I said. I pause, and then I say, it's a cage. So that's kind of weird to me that now he's saying it's a cage because he has always called it his domain. So I wonder what that means. This chapter is called The Story. I look at that ring layered with fresh sawdust. I look at the skylight. I just thought of a story, I say. It's a made-up story or a true one? Ruby asks. True, I say. I hope. Ruby leans against the bars. Her eyes hold the pale moon in them, the way a still pond holds stars. Once upon a time, I say, there was a baby elephant. She was smart and brave, and she needed to go to a place called a zoo. What's a zoo? Ruby asked. A zoo, Ruby, is a place where humans make amends. A good zoo is a place where humans care for animals and they keep them safe. Did the baby elephant get to the zoo? Ruby asked. I don't answer right away. Yes, I say at last. How did she get there? She had a friend, I say, a friend who made a promise. It takes a long time, but finally Ruby returns to sleep. Ivan, Bob whispers, what you said about the zoo, how are you going to do it? Suddenly, I feel as if I could sleep for 1,000 days. I don't know, I admit. You'll think of something, Bob says. What if I don't? I ask. But Bob is already asleep. His little red feet dance, and I know he's running in his sleep. Remembering, Bob and Ruby sleep on. I don't sleep. I think about the promise I made to Stella and the pictures I've made for Ruby, and I remember. I remember it all. We were clinging to our mother, my sister and I, when the humans killed her. There is a cluttered, musty store near my cage. They sell an ashtray there. It is made from the hand of a gorilla. When morning comes and the parking lot glimmers with dew, I see the billboard on the highway. There I am, the one and only Ivan, bathed in the peak light of dawn. I look the way my father did the day the men came. I am, I suppose, a peaceful sort. But inside me, hidden, is another Ivan. He could tear a grown man's limbs off his body. In the flicker of time it takes a snake's tongue to taste the air, he could taste revenge. He is that Ivan on the billboard. I am not. I remember the story Ruby told, the one where the villagers came to her rescue. I hear Stella's voice. I look at my fingers coated in red paint, the color of blood, and I know how I'm going to keep my promise. During the days I wait, during the nights I paint. I worry when Mac takes Ruby into the ring. He carries the claw stick with him all the time now. He doesn't use it. He doesn't have to. Ruby isn't fighting back anymore. She does whatever Mac asks. I am going to stop there. Ivan has made a plan to save Ruby. He kind of told us what it was and kind of didn't. It mentioned him painting. What do you think? What do you think he's going to do to save her? And he also kind of told us the plan was to get Ruby to a zoo where she's safe. How does a gorilla do that? What do you think? I miss you guys, and I hope you're enjoying the book. Things are going to start changing in the book every time we read, so keep listening.